Good evening. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Thank you very much. All right. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, and welcome to a fully classic Scientology New Year, replete with 1,000 cascading balloons and a rousing rendition of Auld Lang Syne. We'll also take our time-honored tour of far-flung Scientology activities, with every picture on those screens perfectly synchronized to elegantly attired speakers, after which we'll ring down the curtain on 2006 and set the stage for 2007. Or, if you prefer, we're about to stuff and mount another record year on the game room wall, then lock and load for the incoming. But regardless of how it's phrased, what I'm about to tell you is not metaphoric, it's a technical fact. While the world out there will soon shout Happy New Year, we can honestly guarantee it. And while everyone's been wishing for peace on earth and goodwill towards man, we can factually make it happen. Because when you invoke the full power of LRH technology and let it loose across the planet, well, that's the air of holiday magic you may have sensed when entering this hall tonight. And even if sometimes subtle and oftentimes working in the blink of an eye, you better believe that magic is real. So, watch closely. While you've heard it said Scientology isn't just in the news, it is the news, that phrase doesn't even begin to capture our story through the last 12 months, not with 16 daily hours of nonstop televised coverage and 4 full miles of press, bringing word of LRH technology to 42 million people a week. And that's more coverage of Dianetics and Scientology this year than the whole previous decade. And they weren't only covering, they were explaining, as every major media machine on earth ran with our backgrounds and ceremonies: New York Times, LA Times, People Magazine, Hello Magazine, ABC, BBC, ETV, you name it. And while they may have headlined it Wedding of the Century, what they all gave amounted to an intro lecture on ARC. And given ARC equals understanding, and understanding begets more, word of the magic triangle also sent 24.5 million people to our internet sites, 30 every minute, 24 hours a day, and that too is highest in history. But when talking history in the making, you're talking planet-wide demand of LRH books. Last year, he was named the single most translated author, while this year he not only broke his own record, he also set another as the single most published author. And that's 2 world titles as bestowed by the world record experts at Guinness. But of course, no matter how you translate an LRH book, it ultimately spells effective help, and for 2006 record on that one, it was 3.1 million hours of volunteer minister service, although, to give credit where credit is due, some 10% of those delivering VM tech are not only volunteer ministers, they're also doctors, nurses, Red Cross workers, firemen, and cops, a full 7,500 of them newly brought on board in the last 12 months. Likewise, coming on board through 2006 were those who direct social services, from mayors and governors to prime ministers and presidents. It's 560 city, state, and federal governments now on our org board, just as we're on theirs. And just as our org boards naturally expand, so do our orgs. This year alone, we pushed the square footage total to more than 8 million, and that's nearly double the whole of Vatican City. We also pushed the boundaries of Scientology itself, although you've got to go pretty far afield to see it. Try the Khyber Pass in Afghanistan, the Niger Delta, and the Kingdom of Bahrain. 3 new lands opened just this year to LRH technology. And when you factor in what else we push to the far ends of the earth, it's not just bringing our names to the airwaves or spreading it across world headlines. It's about 14.6 million people actually experiencing LRH technology through the last 12 months. And even that's not all, because those hearing it from LRH himself in this golden age of knowledge now span 104 nations, including both North Korea and the People's Republic of China. And all told, they've clocked in over 20 million hours listening to his congresses, and given correlations between the knowledge of Scientology and speed of progress up the bridge, the final printout reads as follows. Take the 2,970,000 sessions through the last 12 months, add another 475,000 hours in advanced org chairs, and a solo knot session every 26 seconds, and it's not just astronomical, it's literally infinite, because we're now making a new OT7 or a new OT8 every single day. And for anyone out there who still can't believe it, go to French Polynesia, go to the Czech Republic, go to Hong Kong and the Ukraine, because that's where you'll now find new OTs in action, while as for everywhere else across this world, it's now 7,505 Scientology groups, missions, and orgs, and if it all adds up to more expansion this decade than our first 50 years combined, well, hang on tight, because that's only the warm-up lap, and we're about to drop the hammer at the starting line of 2007, and that's why I say to all Scientologists, rip up every known law of the physical universe and behold the magic, because this is the Scientology New Year celebration 2007.